It's time for dessert, so how about banana bread? Now we're going to make a couple loaves of banana bread, like you see here. Well, of course, we're not going to, my daughter's going to, and I'm going to show you how to make it. It's super yummy, and it really is an easy dessert to make. The first thing you're going to need is 4 bananas, ripened. They don't need to be black. I always thought they did, but as long as they're ripened, they're starting to turn brown, and you can mush them up easy enough, it's likely ripe enough for the banana loaf. If you want to use the really black ones, I guess you can. First thing we're going to do is mash these down into banana mush, which is fun if you like doing that kind of stuff. Well, you need a gooey for the banana batter. Well, that looks good. Let's set it aside. So into our mixing bowl, we're going to start with a 1/3 cup of melted butter. Butter. Followed by 3/4 cup of sugar, an egg, make sure it's at room temperature, 1 teaspoon-ish of vanilla extract. It's 1 teaspoon, but my daughter always said put double in. Why not? And that's going to get a mix. Alright, looking good. Doesn't take long to combine this. Well, now this is 1½ cups of flour. And of course, don't mind the mess on the table. 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and a ½ teaspoon of kosher salt. In this case, it's regular salt, so you got to watch. It's a little finer than kosher salt. And of course, in goes our bananas. Now it gets a mix. It doesn't take long. You just want it incorporated. But once it's incorporated, you're done. You don't want to overmix it. So there's our greased loaf pan. And you definitely need a loaf pan for these because the batter is gooey. And into the loaf pan it goes. Smooth it out. You know, just so it bakes even, right? You don't want it all lumpy on one side. Into the oven, 350, 45 minutes. You'll be good to go. Second banana loaf. My favorite banana bread. Well, that's the title on the recipe. 2 cups of flour, teaspoon of baking soda, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And this one's got cinnamon in it. ½ teaspoon. Ish. If you like cinnamon, I'd put a full teaspoon in. And all those dry ingredients now get mixed together. Now into our mixing bowl goes our softened butter. That's 1 stick. And make sure it's soft because you got to mix all this stuff together, and if it's not soft, I suppose it could be melted too. 3/4 cup of brown sugar, packed, you know, so you get all that sugary flavor. And we mix until both the sugar and butter are nicely mushed together. Might take a minute or two. And to that we are slowly going to add 2 eggs, both at room temperature, and one at a time. And of course, 1 teaspoon of vanilla or 2. Now this here is 1/3 cup of either plain yogurt, or in this case we didn't have plain yogurt, sour cream. Kind of different, right? And of course our 4 bananas, just like the first loaf. 4 bananas seems to be the standard when you're making banana bread. And it's the same plate but not the same bananas, just in case you're curious. And all that gets a good mix. Of course you're going to have to stop it once or twice and scrape the sides just to make sure everything gets incorporated. Yeah, that's looking good. Now we add our flour. And that was the flour and cinnamon and baking soda. That all gets slowly combined with our wet ingredients, where you hope it all stays in the bowl. It might spill a bit, but do your best not to, and let that all combine. So Abby's brought out the other loaf pan, nice and greased, ready for the batter. Our batter's combined. So let's get this in the loaf pan. Now you can see there's a little more batter in this one than the other one, so obviously it's going to get a little poofier. It also takes a little longer to cook. This one's still 350, but takes about an hour-ish to bake. But we put them both in at the same time, knowing that the first one is definitely going to come out early. Ta-da! There we go. Check this out. That's loaf number 1 and loaf number 2 out of the oven onto a cooling rack, and now we're going to give them a try. Honestly, they're both so close in taste. I'd give the edge to loaf number 2, but only a small edge. They're both fantastic. So I hope you like this, and I hope you try making banana bread. If you do, please leave me a comment below. If you haven't subscribed, hit the bell. That'll tell you the next time I upload a video. Give me a thumbs up. I'd sure appreciate it. Feel free to share this and any of my other videos. And as always, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.